Hello all. Okay, in this video I'm going to visit an old ancient souterrain. Now, I've never known about this one before, but there's a underground, apparently it's 800 BC, really old, ancient, subterranean, like, tunnel. It's basically like starts off as a hole in the ground and it goes under. I believe that they discovered it when they were fixing a wall, an old dike wall. The stones had basically fallen through the ground into the hole in the ground. Then from there on they discovered that this hole in the ground led to an underground tunnel basically. And they reckon it's as far back as 800 BC. And they use symbols. They actually write symbols on the walls as a means of communicating. Because it predates the English language apparently, from what I can understand from the research, the very brief research that I've done. I had somebody that knows me, and they sent me a link to a video on YouTube where a guy actually goes in and films where it is and goes into the tunnel. Now, the problem is, at the moment, I'll be going alone, so I won't be going in because I won't go in alone. But in this exercise, I'm going to actually find it. I've managed to kind of pinpoint where it is roughly using the maps on the internet. But when I find where it is, at least I'll know where it is for when I go back in future, when I bring someone or some people along with me, because I will not go in on my own, for obvious reasons. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't feel comfortable about doing it if I indeed go in at all. I'm just going to go there first of all to at least see it for myself first hand. A, where it is exactly, how I'm going to get parked, how I'm going to get to it. B, to actually see, like wow, I'm actually here and at it. I can see it. I could maybe poke the camera under or something, and I could show you roughly where it is as well. And I could always refer back to it for when I come back in the future, if I decide I'm going to go in, I'll have a look at it first. But I'll first of all show you a wee bit of information online that I've researched into it. It's only been very brief. I've kind of got around to it. I've got a spare bit of time today on my day off to manage to squeeze this in, so I'm going to do a wee bit of that today. I'm going to go out and find it. So the first thing I'll do is I'll show you a bit of information about it online. I'm going to just skim through it quickly. I can't, go too much into it, but I'll just show you quickly, and then you can research into it if you're interested. And then I'll show you roughly where it is in Scotland as well. So the first thing is the souterrain, what it is. Well, here's a wee bit of information about what a souterrain is. It's an ancient underground passage or chamber often used for storage or refuge, and typically associated with the Iron Age settlements. They are usually stone-lined and may have been used for storing food such as cheese and meat, or as a secure place to shelter during difficult times of conflict. The word souterrain comes from the French souterrain, meaning underground. So that's just a bit about what the souterrain actually, what it is, what it means. I never really known an awful lot about that, so I'm building my own knowledge as well on it. Now, the one that I'm going to look at today is, there's just a wee bit of information here. It's Barns of Airlie, and it's sort of like giving you a rough idea where it is. It's not going any further there, but that's the one in question anyway, that I'm going to have a look more in depth. On the actual map, Google Maps, Curtin of Airlie, this is the actual photograph here. And it gives us sort of slight directions, so if I could try and maybe show you that. So it's kind of pointing there, I know how to get to the area by road, but obviously there's a bit of walking involved to get to pinpoint exactly where it is. So it's sort of around in this kind of area. It's not really much help to you, but I've got a fair idea. So the arrow is pointing towards here, which is showing up here on the top image. So it's on a kind of hump on the the hill there. So what I need to do is get the car, I need to drive up to get to this road. I could do that, and from where that visual was, I could kind of like pinpoint roughly where it is down there. So I'd have to walk, park somewhere responsibly and walk up to it. Typed in Kirton of Airlie. And I need to, that's the general area. Now, I'm starting off in Dundee, so when I get a little bit nearer, perhaps Meagle or something, or I'll show you where it is in Scotland first of all. I'll show you where it is in the UK, Britain, because it could be, and then it could be watched anywhere really. So as I zoom in on Google Maps, it's kind of like giving you a rough idea where it is in the country. So it's sort of like between Airlie and Kirriemoor. As you get further and then closer, it shows up Airlie. And it's sort of about there, in this kind of area, but I could get the car along this road, so I just need to put the map marker there and get there and drive to there, because it's where this, it was just a kind of, I know where it is roughly anyway. I need to get on that road. Just kind of left a bit with that hemmet up. It was about there. I could see it from the road there in this direction, so I just need somewhere to stop, and then I'd have to walk the rest to get into the field, obviously, where it is. So that's Kirton area there, and that's the road I'm on about. I need to get where this marker is. So I've put the marker on the road where I'm going to drive to, and from there I'll have to find somewhere reasonable to park, and then I'm going to have to get out and walk the rest. Now, I know that it's kind of like there, and I should be able to see it on a hump of it. The hill, kind of humped hill, and there's a fence. From what I can make out of the guy's video as well, gives me a bit more of a clue as to finding it. So when I get a wee bit nearer, I'll put the dash cam, the dash mount window, the windscreen mount camera holder, and you can see the route that I'm taking on the roads. I'll give you an idea of that as well. So first thing I do is start getting a bit closer if I leave, and in the centre, and in Dundee at the moment, so once I get a little bit closer I'll show you. So in a couple of miles away from the area that I marked on the map, I'll show you where I am. So far I'm just going to cross over the A926, and it's coming in from this side here. So when I zoom in, it's around about here. I need to park and then walk around about somewhere in there in the field. I think I could see the hump. I'll see if I could show you in the camera when I get to there, but I'm currently positioned here, and that's the street signs, the road signs just up there. So I've come from Meagle. Meagle is 4 miles behind me. That's the route that I'm heading away from. And I've got a crossroad here, and I'm going to go straight on, which is the crossroads. As you can see on the map, I'm just going to go straight on up there, follow the road round and find somewhere to park up, and I'm going to walk into here somewhere to find this Souterrain. So what I'll do as well is I'll record the drive footage from where I'm at to the red marker on the maps here, and you'll get to see the scenery as I get there, and I'll give you some more clues to find it as well if you're interested to visit it yourself. So I've got that running. So I've just come up to that junction now. So I'm going straight on here. I'm crossing over the A926, 3 miles to Airlie on the left, 6 miles to Kirriemoor on the right. I'm going straight on. Continue along this road here, which I showed you on the map. So there'll be in a field somewhere on over towards the right, because the road is sweeping round towards the right. I need to basically get to it on foot once I find somewhere to park responsibly. So like I say, it wasn't really my idea. I never really heard about this place until I got a suggestion from someone that I know, suggesting that I watch this video and see if I fancy visiting it myself. So I watched this guy's video and it looked very interesting to me, appealing. So I thought, well, I'm going to come along and have a visit myself, and I'll share with my viewers my day out having a look at this place, my experience of it. So that signpost is for Airlie on the left, 4 miles. I'm continuing towards Lintratham. I'm just going straight on the signpost here, heading in the direction of it. But the markers are just further along this road. Just going to record this dry footage in real time. There's no point in speeding it up because it's so you can gather information on the area. You know, you're getting a feel for the area. The sussing the area as the more you see in the area, the more clues and markers there are, so you could get an idea as to where it is. And I could refer back to it myself as well. I could probably find it quite easy. And just looking on the left there, wow, there's some big cave quarry after. You know what, I'm going to actually show you that. I'm going to have a proper look at that myself. So I'm going to stop the video record for the moment. I've just been sort of like sidetracked a wee bit. I just saw something really interesting on my left there. I'll show you where I am currently. So I'm not far from the marker as to where I'm going to be heading for. And I'm just going to walk back about 2-minute walk and have a look on the left. I saw a big sort of quarry-like thing, or a rock face. So I want to have a closer look at that. So I'm parked responsibly. I'm just walking back to this sort of like a sheer cliff.
Continue for 1.5 miles.
Oh, right, that's my other phone with the sat-nav on it, and just doing a wee slight sidetracked here. I've got enough time to do this, so I'm going to show you anyway. So I'm just walking back on myself a wee bit, a minute to where I was. So this is what I saw. It's I'm just going over here towards this sheer rock face that I saw earlier as I was driving up. Well, this is a sheer drop down there, and that's the road that I was coming up and it's heading in the direction that the car was going in. So I just stopped further up that road a bit. I had to find somewhere wide enough to stop, park. And as I say, as I was driving up this road, I spotted this on the left. Let me get a closer look at it now. Now I'll tell you one thing, that is one heck of a drop. There's a river down there. Now I'd have to look in the maps. Now I'm used to this kind of thing when I go hill walking with the hill walking club that I'm with. So I get very well versed with the dangers of sheer drops and stuff, and cliff edges and sheer drops and everything like this. Like bumblebee there, by the way, I just thought. That's a way now. It's a rare sight these days. Now you don't see as many bees these days as you used to. That's an observation that I've noticed anyway. There is a bit of a trail here. Now I know this is off subject slightly, but I'm going to add it onto this video anyway because it's something of interest that I could look back onto for myself as well. And I thought I'd just share this with you. So that's going to go on the video anyway because it is something quite spectacular. As a bonus, I suppose. No, I could zoom this in. Unfortunately, it's not really showing that well. But I don't know if you could see what I'm seeing, but I don't want to be getting too near that. So I saw that cliff face. I saw that when I was driving along and I looked over and said, what, that was a quarry or something, it's a big sheer drop, you know. So I wanted to get a closer look. So yeah, that's quite exciting. I'm going to get the name of that river for you in a minute. Still got the sat nav set. I don't want to break the feed, although it's just on the corner, because I know what the signal's like. The sat nav's locked in to that, but usually when you reset it, if you're not in the signal zone, you won't get the signal again. So that's about as clear as I could get. I'm going to maybe get a few pictures. So that's it. It's called the River Isla. That's the River Isla, I believe, going by the maps. And the road is just up there. So you have to be very careful that they're not standing on like a false edge as well. Because just be a load of leaves and nothing under it and you go right through it. So you have to be very, very careful when you're doing this. I'm just going to go along just a wee bit further down here, just along here a bit to get another view. So there's some more of the cliffs that I spotted initially. So a lot of the rivers, you can probably hear it, but it's covered with overgrowth, you don't really see it so much, but it's there. The river is definitely down there, I can hear it clearly, I can see part of it. And it obviously runs through this valley-like area. So as I say, I spotted this. Yeah. So I spotted the white rock face there drew my attention, and I thought, what the heck is that, corner or something, you know? So now I know anyway what it is, and that might even be of interest to you as well if you're looking for the Souterrain that I'm still in the process of trying to find. So up there is the road, that's where I'm heading back to. So every now and again the sat nav would talk to us and I would get a fright because I've left it tuned in as set. I don't want to break that signal because it's set. To get it recalibrated it might be hard. But anyway, it's a lovely find. It's a place of interest. It's worth noting and logging in the videos. So I'll just get myself back onto the road and then continue, or I'll get back in the car. It's going to be over there somewhere, it's maybe not even that far. So yeah, it was about here I got to, and I clocked this on the left as it was going up. I spotted that and said, wow. So I've backed further up. So that's a bit that's wide enough so I could actually stop for a few moments to have a look at that. Like I say, I think see that's that sat nav talking again. Keep getting caught up with that. It's only me here and I hear a voice and like what the... But yeah, the Souterrain's over there somewhere. I'll be over in that general direction. Because the road sweeps round to the right. And there's certainly nothing to say, I can't just, you know, probably go over there, but I want to just stick with the original plan because that's where I got my bearings from using the Google Maps. So perhaps when I get more familiar with the area where it is, I could probably even park there as well and get over to it. But it's a lovely view behind me. Looking over towards Angus in Dundee area. It's looking south behind me. And I'm just not gonna... I know it's a wee bit off subject for that, but it's still part of the general thing anyway. It's in the general area. Right, I'm going to get back to my car now and drive the remaining very short distance to that marker point. And then I'm going to look over in that direction. I kind of suspect it might even be there. I might be there for all I know, but I'm going to go to a point where I do know, and I'll just work from that point. So there's still time. It's like going on 6 o'clock, so it doesn't get dark till well after 8 o'clock. I was all busy earlier and I tried to get it earlier, but I was held up doing stuff earlier, so this is the earliest opportunity. But there's still enough daylight and time to do this, so I'm just up there. The car's just there, so I'll get my hiking boots on, and I've got my some old clothing, because I might, if I'm kneeling down on the ground to see through this subterranean thing, I'll probably get dirty. So I've come prepared for once. So I'm back on the move again. It's just around the corner basically. Now there's a bit of a building house there, and a stone house on the left. There's like a wee farm on the right, so the marker is just a bit of stone throw up the road a wee bit. But that means I'm in the general area now, so I just need to find the white bit of the road. Now I'm looking over to the, go past these trees. I think it's past the trees a bit. So I've just past that farm. I'm looking over towards areas now. I could kind of see a hump to the right, because this is now the road swept round. It's going and heading in the east direction now, and if I'm looking to my right, which will be the south, that's where the Souterrain is. It's kind of like, I don't know, a few minutes walk into the view. Now that looks like a fence there, and I think it's up that track there, so now I'm going to find somewhere to, well actually no, I'm going to research something first before I commit to that, because I could easily come back. It's just, I want to go, whoa, look at the size of that buzzard. I don't know if you saw that on camera, but it's massive. Yeah, I want to go along a wee bit just ahead of these trees, so I could...
In 300 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Yeah, so I could see the hump. This is what I saw from the maps, and if I could see that from here in real life, in person, and I know in the right area, and I'd expect to see it over my right shoulder. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of stop now, and I'll show you what I mean. So I've kind of stopped here now. It's not at Kirriemuir, by the way. Ignore the Kirriemuir, that's not where I am. And at a junction of the road where it's got a sign saying Lintratham and Glen Isla. In fact, I'll show you that sign a bit closer in a minute. At the moment I'm just temporarily stopped. There's plenty of places to park responsibly. I kind of suspect that this is my suspicions, and I'm not taking this route to get there. This is just from what I saw on the map. It's over in this direction, so... Now, when I watched the guy's video, there was sort of like a fence and a wall he was walking between, and I reckon that is that there. And it kind of goes, humps up a bit, and it was about there, I think, in that general area. That's quite interesting as well in its own right. It might have something to do with it, I don't know, but that's the New Tile monument, on the Compurny monument. So that is, again, it's just if you could see that from the way I see it, you know you're in the area where I am at, and I think it's over there. Now I saw a fence when I was driving this way, and a sort of pathway, walkway that you could go along to. So I'm going to find, park up properly, and I'll go back and walk over to there and walk up that way. I'll show you the signpost as well that I saw. So I watched the guy's video. It was good, it was interesting, but I found it a little bit hard to try and pinpoint where the place was. So I had to do just a wee bit more digging, a bit more researching into it to try and pinpoint it better. But the information he supplied was useful, but I just needed a bit more for me to find it. So it took a bit of research, but I've kind of like, I am where I intend on being right now. So I must also point out that the views are really lovely here, and this is the signs signpost, so what I'll do is I'll take a picture of that as well, so I could try and set up, actually get the pointer up and point in the general direction. So yeah, I put the timer on and I took a picture and pointed over there. So I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself and kind of like, and just it's going to be in that general area from what I could figure anyway. I'll get myself properly off the road part, and I'll get my hiking boots on, my gear, my rucksack, a head torch, emergency whistle, a blower whistle, just in case I do decide to go in just even a wee bit and something happens. It's always good to do that. I've let someone know where I'm going as well, but I need to pinpoint exactly where it is, so I'm going to get myself geared up, i.e. hiking boots, something a bit warmer, because it is a little bit chilly, even though it is like getting on for May. It's like near the end of April, and it's still a wee bit chilly. So, and I've got my selfie stick if I'm going to put that in further. So I'm going to get myself ready then. I'll show you where I am as well in the Google Maps, exactly where I am precisely, to try and make it easier for you to find it if you're interested to see it. And that gate fence is just up there, so I'm just going to park where I am. I'll get off the road a bit more. It's just there on the left, so it's not far. And then sort of like going to be getting myself up there. Right, so I'm properly parked. I've got my stuff with us. I brought some warm clothing. I don't know how far I'm going to be walking, not that far really, but I just like going prepared anyway. And then enjoying the views. That's the Sidlaw Hills on the horizon there. It's the north side of the Sidlaw Hills. And Lintraffin Reservoir is just north of where I am at. So this is kind of like between the Scottish town of Airlie, and which is that way, west, and behind, towards the east, is the town of Kirriemuir. So, and this is an unclassified road. It's a country lane, and it does show up in the maps at least, and it showed you where the red marker was. That's where I'm more or less at now. And I'm aiming to be going over there. Now I saw a gate and a fence as I was driving this way. So interestingly, this is another one. I saw one further along there, and as I'm walking on foot I get a much clearer understanding of what I'm seeing, because I'm not just whizzing by. So I'm going to take I don't know, I'm going to bear that one in mind for a minute. I think the first one that I saw was more promising, which is just along here on the left a bit. Because when I was driving this way, well, the direction that I'm facing now, I didn't really see that one very well, because it was tucked in over my right shoulder, if you like. But I got a clear view of this one, which is the one I saw in the maps as well, which I'll show you in a minute when I get to it. So this is the fence that I spotted earlier. This is the one that looks more promising, the one I saw in the maps. So the more information you see on the videos here, the more the more footage I pan the camera on, the more information it's captured. I know scenery changes through time, but this will give you an idea anyway, hopefully. So I was only, 5-minute walk maybe from being parked. I just walked basically back on myself. I drove up there, I was about to go up there further. And this is the gate here that I saw. Now, just having now I'm going to take my bet that it's going to be up here somewhere. Judged from what I saw in the guy's video as well, this looks like the most likely candidate. Start from here. So there's obviously infinite ways to get to it. This is just the route that I'm taking to find it. So I made sure that I closed the gate behind me. It was nice and easy, just opened it. It's not locked, but I made sure I left it the way I found it. I closed it again properly. And now I'm just going to head up here. I'm going to head up this track now in the general directions to where I reckon that it is. Now there's some sort of dike wall that would be on the right hand side. There's a trail line going through. So at the moment it's looking a bit devious, a bit in doubt, but I'm still heading down there. We've walked down here a couple of minutes so far. I'll just see what it's like further down in a bit. I'm maybe thinking it might be over that way a bit, I don't know what happens. I'll go along here a bit and I'll get an idea, hopefully a better idea as to what's going on, but I'm still walking from that general direction. And I could see kind of like stone dyke, well stones anyway, I don't know. So the guy's video only showed a limited amount of the route that he took to get there. I mean, there was so much that he showed. So it was kind of like just picking up some. I only watched it once as well. I've only got so much time to research into it as well. So I'm kind of hoping this is right. It's got to be in this general area or over there somewhere. But keep going down here a bit. So I did get a glimpse of something actually. This gorse bush there on the right was kind of putting me off a wee bit. I was thinking that it's just going to be like that all the way, but past this bush it looks a bit more promising, because I could see the stone dyke wall down there and a bit of a hump as well, because the guy said it was like on a hump hill. We'll go down a bit anyway. So it's opening up a bit now, but so I've came from that direction more or less, continued along, and this is, oops, nearly tripped. Now this is what's in front of me. So I just don't know now what to do. I remember the guy saying there was an electric fence as well, and I could see something like that. So I just have to think now. So it doesn't look so good now. It doesn't look so good at all. It's really annoyingly awkward. This is what I met with. 6-foot fence, a wall, barbed wire and possibly an electric fence. No. I was thinking it might have been up there. Oh, there's a hare. I don't know if you saw that. You might. I saw it. Oh, I don't know if I got it there or not, but I saw a big hare one in there. So I don't know. See, there's another hump as well. Look, there's one there. There's one there. So I'm beginning to wonder now. So I don't know. I mean, if I go over there at least, I could see the electric fence. I could probably conquer that. I'm used to that kind of stuff on hill walking. My initial thought I was going to try that, but there's a humped hill there with a dike on it. There's one over there as well. The first port of call I need to do is to get over there. I need to get over this obstacle. I need to get over there and to check that one. If it's no there, I need to check that one. And if it's no there, I'll scream. But look, there's a tractor, so that means the road, right, can't it be that far, because the road went down there and it was certainly within this area. And if I keep going further that way, I'll come to the road that I drove up. So it's got to be in this area, and it can't be that far down there. So the first thing I need to do, as I say, is to get over this bloody obstacles, which I'm not really too keen on doing, but I suppose I'm going to have no choice but to. So I'm going to get over that now. I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do that. Right, I'll have to put the camera away for this, because I'm going to need to get this knuckle down here to get through these obstacles. Why there has to be a challenge, it's just typical, isn't it? Anyway, that's got me. Right, and over. So that was a challenge, but I got over. Now that I've completed that obstacle, I'll maybe see if I can find an easier way back. I'm going to just walk on the edge here and see if I can see anything. So I'm not so sure. It might be that one there on the left, it might be this one, it might be one over there on the right. But I'm keeping to the right of the field, off of the field, and just right on the edge to see if I get some sort of clues as to where it is. I kept off the field, I kept on I didn't stand over any of the stuff. Now, it doesn't look that promising, but that's the road that I drove up. So I could figure it's got to be between here, and the guy mentioned the farm over there, so maybe it is over there, and maybe too far west. So I'm going to have to now go along the peripherals and make my way over there. I don't think it's over there, but then again, I'm not really sure now. I was just looking at some research and photos and videos and that I saw earlier. I got a bit of a signal. Instead of going that way, it could be running west to east. It could be along here. There's like a foot of fence in the background, so I'm going to check along this way instead. That's the way I came down. That's the fence at the roadside, and I walked down here, across the obstacles, and I'm going to look along this way, which is east to west, rather than going south to north, because I just assumed at first it could have been there, but I'm going to check this way, because looking at the photos online, there's a bit of a fence like that next to it, but the trees weren't there, so it may be further along that way, or maybe that way. I'm going to guess, I could be wrong. I'm going to look this way though. It might be towards the east, and I know climbing that again I'll find another way out. So I'm heading this way now. That's the way I was checking. I went so far, got a view over there. It was a nice view, but it wasn't what I was after. So I just came back down. That's the way I came, crossed the obstacles. But instead now I'm going to turn to my east and head east and check this bit out here. There's a dike, there's a fence. It might be between them, I'll have to just check. So I've walked down a bit now. That's where that gate is up there, that one. That's where I done the obstacle climb. I've walked along here, east, heading towards east and north, and seeing this. This is what I'm seeing. It sort of resembles something that I saw in the guy's video. That looks like the fence. Not balled my hopes up until I found it, but that looks sort of more like it. No, it might be up there, or it might be down there. Something's telling me it might be up there, unfortunately, which means climbing an obstacle again to get over, which I'll do. It's a wee bit easier. You be very careful with these things, the condition of them. So I'm over in this wee triangle bit. Now it's kind of like I'm going to have a wee look up here. I'm just going to have a look. See, there's a hump hill. So I'm kind of heading back towards the road that I drove on. So in a nutshell, I came down that side, climbed over the obstacle there, then I went over, then came back, then I walked this way east, went over here, and walking up between the fence and the wall. And I watch you don't trip over bits of wire just like that, because I nearly did. So I'm doing all the donkey work, so that when I bring other people with me, it'll be easier. I'll try and find it first of all. So I think this is the route between the first gate there. So now there's a buzzard again. So the road parked in there. The road's just running down there. Remember that first gate that I saw when I was walking along the road? Well, I think this leads to it. It's looking south. It's looking north now. And I want to be looking over. See, it's beginning to get really annoying now, because I'm thinking I find that then suddenly it's sort of going cold again. I'm not sure if I'm getting near it or not. It's frustrating. I mean, this is beginning to be a bit of a pain in the neck now, because it looks as though there isn't it here. It might be further up there, I just don't know. I remember I mentioned that you saw the farmer's house. I could see a house down there. So I'll have a look there, it might be over there, I'll go and check. So far, still on this track, and I'm heading towards the road up there, and just going to cross over and look over this side for a minute. So I've looked over this side of the wall. That was the still that I crossed over earlier, in case it was on this side. I'll have a look up there and see if it's over there. Oh, you know, the other side of that goss bush. I'll try that. That's how you need a lot of time for this sort of thing. You need to spare a lot of time. I'm glad I didn't bring anybody with me today because I haven't even found it yet. I need to find it first before I could bring people with me to see it. And I have to find an easier route. So at the moment I'm still searching for it. It can't be that far from it. So we'll just keep on looking and see if we can find it. Keep you posted. So I was avoiding walking on the field. I kept to the bits that didn't have the, you know, the seeds in that. I avoided that. I've got up here. Not looking promising. The road's just there. That's where I'm parked again. That's the signs that I pointed on earlier. So I've searched down the other side of here, went along, and I came up here. Can't find it. So I'm running out of options now. I just think where I could check now. So what I've done is I looked at that video again, parts of it, and doubling back on myself to the bit where I was at the triangle bit with the stile. Now it's worth noting that that gas post is there, and I think it's up that way somewhere now. So I'm basically going back down to there again, cross over and up. So I'll show you as I get nearer. So there's the bit I'm going to go over again. Now this is pivotable. This is important to highlight these bits, and also keeping the bits of the video in where I didn't find it, so you could use it as a means of elimination. So you know that it isn't up there because I just checked. You know that I came down there earlier, and I'm going to go back and up this way on that side of the wall. So that's looking south. I remember seeing that bit there on the video, and it's you went up there. This is a bit I didn't check, so I'm going to do that now. So having climbed over here, I'm now walking west until I get to these gates here. So this is a bit where I didn't check. First of all, when I came over, I went over and checked that hill. So it turns out it will be this one. There's the fence, and there's the dike on the right hand side. Now having climbed up, that's the electric fence that I heard in the video. I'm now heading south, and dike's on the right hand side, fence is on the left. That sort of goes inside with some of the other photos I looked at when I was researching. And apparently it's up here a bit, so I shall continue walking up here. So that's just a wee recap. Over there, along, over this gate, because it's not open, I had to climb it anyway. I'd continue up there. That was the hill I checked earlier. I wasn't there, so I came back down. I walked right along there, went over, went up there, realised I wasn't there when I looked at the video again, came back down, over there, along, over this fence, heading this way. Fence on your right, fence on your left hand side, stone deck on your right, heading south. And I've found it. It is down there. So, I nearly gave up. Well, I didn't, but I checked. Initially, I went over there, got to there, looked at the view, realised it wasn't there. I came back and I said I'll check west to east, which would be along that wall, or east to west, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't there. So I then decided to go up, climbing over, went up there, went round there, and then further back, and I said, oh, it's not there. Then I had the sense to look at the video again, do some more research, a bit more in depth. I had to go over it 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 or 5 times, just to find out, pinpoint exactly where it was on the video. And when I closely, intensely watched it, I then realised that you have to come back down there, over there, walk along that wall, on your right, cross that fence, that's looking north mind, so you cross the fence, come up here, which is heading south. So if you're heading south, the wall will be on your right, fence will be on your left, farm down there, and another farmhouse up there. I'm parked over the hill, the road runs along there, over that hill, just on the other side there, not that far, and I'll be finding an easier way to get back to my car. So I'm going to do a 360 degree view to try and give you a better clearance, clearer idea how to get to it. The views are absolutely splendid, spectacular, so I shall show you this 360 degree view to get you an idea, to pinpoint it a bit easier, to make it easier for you to find. So I'm going to do that now. Panning the camera to the east, panning the camera to the north now. Souterrain's down there. Panning the camera over to the west, with the dike on there, on the west, and back to south again. On the other side of this dike, there is indeed another fence, but it's not one you could walk by. It's only just widened out to this bit. So there's a number of ways you could go. This is just the way that I went. So if you're walking up this way, the fence will be on this on the east side. This will be your left, and then the dike will be on your right. And then you'll come to it. Now you could easily miss that, especially if it's poor lighting. Today the weather's okay, so I was able to spot it. Right, so I found it eventually. It took me about an hour and a quarter to find it, but I found it eventually. I was like thinking, where the heck is it? It's always good to have research, spend the time properly. Videos make it easier, research on Google, photographs, get as much research knowledge as you can, because you'll need it to find it if you're not familiar with this area, which I'm not. And it was only solely with the use and help of the guy's video and the Google and other photos that I found it. So I thank the video. I don't want to name it because I've only seen it once. I don't really know the channel at all. It was passed on from a colleague of mine that wanted me to try this out. He knows I do ventures and stuff, and thought, well, how about this? And he sent me it over on WhatsApp. So I had a look at it briefly at my mate's house when I just had a few moments to. So I watched the video through and I said, wow, this is interesting, it's got me inspired. So that was it. I said, right, I'll try and figure out where it is. It took me ages to find it. A lot of climbing involved. It's not easy to find. It's not easy to get to neither, so I had to climb. I'll find the easiest route back to my car, and I'll use that as a means to get here again when I bring somebody that would be willing to do that. But I found it anyway, and quite happy. It's like 7:15 now. It's still going to be lighty for a bit. So, as I say, I thank if it wasn't for the channel, the YouTube channel, I don't know how many channels have done this, but certainly the one I watched was, he went to a lot of effort to get here. He drove quite a few miles, I think. So, if I remember right, he said he drove a considerable distance and he made a lot of effort to get here. But I don't know the channel, so I don't really know. I don't want to. I mean, I could name it, but I mean, I thank the channel anyway, and I appreciate it. I give the channel a good like and give it a good comment, and you know, hats off. It was really good of the guy to share that info with us, because it made me inspired to come here. You know, I mean, the guy that worked with me, he says, you know, he passed it on, and I wouldn't have known this was here. So, but anyway, now that I'm here, I might have a wee peek from here. I'm not going to go in too far because I'm alone, as you know. I haven't do anything risky. So I've got a few pictures of it. Now there's a sign here. So it's been warned. So I never let my exit entrance out of sight. Never. if I'm alone. I'm always aware of it. I always make my own judgments on things like that. But I might get a selfie and I'll maybe have a wee look. So I've got the old jacket over my clothes, I've got my waterproof leggings on just because they could be easily cleaned. I'm only going about knee deep in there, I'm not going far, just with the entrance all the time, just to poke my head in. I've got my selfie stick as well, so I can pull the camera in further. So people have been in it before, it's evidently clear. I've got my light, I'd never do anything that I wasn't comfortable doing. So I'm not really going any depth. I'm just looking from here. That's as much really as I'm going to. I'll get a selfie stick in or something, but so I'll put the selfie stick in a bit further and just kind of semi in. And that's really as far as I'm going. I'll put the selfie stick in it. I don't really want to go in anymore. I don't really want to go in any more than that I need to right now, because I don't see it necessary to go any further alone. I would go in, there's others, but I don't need to go in any further alone. This is really enough for now. Selfie stick and shine the head torch in as well. Right, that's really as far as I'm going. Oh, musty, quite musty. Now that'll do me. Feels very quiet in here as well. That does it. Ooh. So, what struck me right away when I went just to the entrance, I don't go any further, is that A, I don't need to go any further on my own. There's no necessity. I don't particularly want to, I'm not going to. If I feel as though I don't want to do it, I won't do it. So that was enough for me. And alone, if there was other people with me, then, you know, it'd be a bit more secure, because there's more, it's a false sense of security really, because if it's going to collapse, it's going to collapse regardless, but there's a help at hand. They don't know exactly when in here today, only limited people know that in here today, so I wasn't going any further, didn't want to, I don't need to, I don't have to go any further for the video, and I don't have enough motivation just on curiosity to go down there. So what I've seen is enough for me just now. I could return back with others and go in marginally further. It's unsafe anyway, so even still, you know, I might, you know, the guy went in and there is a gate. It's like a metal gate. You go so far, I don't know how far in he went. Maybe about, I don't know. I don't know how far he went, maybe, but quite a considerable bit. I mean, I think he went as far to the point that's when he couldn't see the light behind him. So he did that. But I don't need to. The thing that struck me as well when I went and just that tiny bit, just there, put my head in, just have a look. As it was quiet. All the background sound of the tractor down there, the air, the birds, all outside sound just went silent. Now the science behind that probably is because it's dampened by the grass. It's a small inlet, so the sound won't get in there. It's surrounded with thick earth and brick, so sound won't get through that very easily. Not airborne sound anyway. The vibrations would. That's what sound is. It vibrate the air that's in there. So that would dampen the sound. It was an eerie feeling. It was musty as well, and I was just sort of like thinking, is there any spiders up there and stuff like that? saw spiders with them, a couple of slugs. Didn't want to stand on the slugs, they moved them out of the way. But with the spider, you know, I was a bit not comfortable, not necessity to go in any further, but I did have a look. I put the selfie stick in further in as well. Now, the motion, my imagination's one thing, but the common sense is another. I mean, it says it's dangerous, it's could collapse. I don't know the condition of it. It might very collapse at any moment. I don't know. It says keep out. It's been warned. But it doesn't say keep out, did it? Does it say keep out? It just says unsafe structure. Yeah, it says keep out. So unsafe structure, keep out warning. So you're going at your own risk. It's saying keep out, so it could collapse at any moment. But I felt kind of like musty. The temperature was still, the air was still and musty. But then that would be the case, wouldn't it? Because there's no airflow, is there? That's your airflow. And unless there's other entrances, exits further in, I'll show you the geological view of the land from where that, so you could probably just guess where the tunnels go. But yeah, it's not something I'd need to do in a hurry, but I found it at least. So there it is, anyway. First time I've ever been to it, and it's a hole in the ground with slugs and cobwebs and everything. Will you really be wanting to go in there in a hurry if you don't need to? And the sound doesn't echo. When I was speaking in the video, it didn't echo neither. It was like deadened. The sound was just deadened. It felt claustrophobic, even just that wee bit. Just looking down here thinking, gosh, what's further down there, eh? Imagination gets the better of you a little bit, but then it is a dark hole in the ground. I mean, really, is that the sort of thing you really want to do if you don't know, if you don't have to? But there you go, that's, I found it. And I'll show you the geological ground area from the survey of the ground. So, it looked as though the tunnel was going this direction. So, going over, I don't know how far it would go. I mean, I don't know how far the guy went, but he went in to the point where he couldn't see any light behind him. Certainly didn't appear to be on his video. So it could considerably go, you know, this is what's above it. So the fields are there, and I just don't know how much deeper it goes down as well, how far it goes. Is there other tunnels that connect it? Is there any other interconnecting tunnels with different exit entrances? And looking at it from the other side, certainly going that direction, but now I've made an observation, I'll tell you in a minute. Now I'm noticing something. I noticed that as soon as I got here, actually, or shortly after. It's like a kind of mint smell, a minty kind of smell, faint mint. I'm noticing it now. It could be a number of reasons. I haven't brought any mints with me. I haven't got any reason to smell mint for anything I've brought. It could be a compilation of substances, plantations, chemicals, I mean, whatever, it's in the air. But there is this distinctive, well, mint comes to mind. Now, I don't know what plants around here would give that smell off. Has it anything to do with that? I don't know. But I only started noticing it when I got here. Very faint mint smell. That's what comes to mind anyway. And I thought I'd make a note of that so I could record it myself. So this is observations of what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking when I'm here. But you've got to be an expert. You would not go in there and just venture off like that unless you knew what you were doing. You have to be careful. I mean, I wouldn't do it. You could get lost and all those sorts of things. I was just not really keen on going any further than what I did. But say I had my head down in there just about that point, and that was it. That was enough for me. And I put the camera in. You saw in the video. I smell like mint. No, it could be something that's blown over from the wind. There's not much wind. It's coming in the southeast. But I never noticed it anywhere else until I got to here. So it could have been somebody was here maybe that ate mint or something, I don't know, but then or sprayed mint or whatever reason. Definitely a mint, very faint whiff of mint. Mint. But anyway. I find that was apparently it's accidentally found it when they were fixing this wall. The stones fell down into the hole, and that's how they discovered it. That's what I heard. I read. That's what I researched online as to how they found it, from what I heard and what I've looked at. Hole in the ground, but you maybe put the selfie stick down again, but I'm not going any further. So I'll just sort of sit myself. Oh dear. I'm not going, but I'm going to sit myself down a bit. Put this in here. Torch on as well. Oh, you're right. Better still, I'll just get the blooming head torch and I'll just point it down. There you go. Probably better, Zoom into that. So I've just taken a few pictures from here anyway. I think so it sort of goes down deeper as well. So yeah, the fact that it also sort of goes down, as you're going down, it kind of slopes down. That makes it harder to get out as well. If I was going up, I'd be more inclined to go further because it's easier to get out in an emergency, quicker, you know. I just thought how to get out quickly, and it's going up on a slippery slope. And it sweeps round as well, so I can't really see what's wrong there. So it's like going inside the ground. I'm not familiar with that feeling, you know. It's maybe some of it's just, most of it's just maybe irrational imagination and stuff, but that does play a part. But the sensible stuff, which it is anyway, imagination, everything counts. But your sixth sense tells you what you can and can't do. You have a sixth sense, you go by that. You do it anyway, and sure. Yeah, so you have a sixth sense, you go by that anyway, subconsciously. And if you don't feel comfortable about it, you won't do it. If you really feel as though you have to do it, you'll do it. I don't need to do that, it's just for a fun video, so I just do what I feel comfortable about doing and not put myself through anything I don't really need to. So anyhow, it kind of goes down a bit of a slope, and it makes it harder to get out. If I was going up, which wouldn't really make much sense unless you were going up the way I've been to make, or at least if it was on a level ground and there was a bit more of an entrance, then I would have went further. Because I've got the time, how long it takes from when I see something, anything at the furthest point, how long it would take on a guesstimated speed, how long it would be for me to get out. You know, these things run through your mind. It does anyway, whether you like it or not. You may think it's far-fetched, but you'd naturally and automatically do it. You know, you'll see a point and you'll judge to your own judgment. Doesn't mean it will be as to how quick you're going to be able to get out. If you see something, it's like a braking distance. You know how, you know what you need to do to stop in time. You know how to get out in time. If you see something at the furthest away point that you're not comfortable with, but it's very quiet. So, at least I found it. So you've got other things to consider, like you say, the condition of it. You don't know what you're walking on, or what it's like. You know, if it's going to collapse, you don't know who's around, what could happen. That's the only known exit entrance, to my knowledge. Now I can see for quite a considerable distance that there's nobody to my visually. I can't see anybody. Doesn't mean there isn't. It just means I can't see anybody. there's quite a considerable area, so it would take a bit of time for somebody to get there if they're going to block it or anything like that. Things like that you've got to think of. You do it naturally, that's just what you naturally do, whether you like it or not. But everybody does, it's built into your DNA, so to speak. But yeah, so it's quite in the middle of nowhere. I know that there's a farm there, and I've got my emergency whistle, but that doesn't mean anything. You know? I mean, if you hear a whistle, what do you do? They might even, I used to say they will help, but it might, I don't know. They might not know, they might not hear it. But and here alone, and you've got to bear that in mind. And even if there's people here, I'd still be with an eye shot of that exit entrance or have somebody there all the time. You've got to do it properly, and I'm not equipped to do it just now. Anyway, other than that, and enjoying the views as well. Look, that's Kinpurnie Monument, and Sidlaw Hill, Kinpurnie Hill, and Sidlaws. Craigable. That's Craigable Hill with the masts on it. You might just make it out when there's a cloud scraping over it. So I'm kind of like glad I found it, and I found a little bonus earlier when I saw the River Isla. But yeah, that's fine for me. Don't feel like going any further than that. Yeah, you get the imagination as well. I think it's like going in the hole of the ground. You just think it's swallowed up here, you know. And you get the wildlife, and you got the spiders and all the slugs and everything. You could just touch your head because it's very shallow, you know. And I don't like the thought of that, eh? It's just not so bad if there's other people here with us, like, you know, for common sense reasons. Like, if you get in trouble, you need to know somebody there for help, because who knows? Nobody knows where I am exactly. Well, I have a fair idea. Like, I don't admit that. I go places and let people know. So, for security, you've got to do that. You know, you got to be sensible. Eh? When you're in places in the middle of nowhere, you got to know where you are. And take safety precautions. Like, you got to be careful. Especially when it's darker and that. But yeah, even when I was a lot younger, I always still had to be aware of. You make the calculations out. You look and you think, well, I need to know how quick to get out. I need to know who could get around if the worst try to, you know, get blocked in, or if anything happens, if anything falls. What's the biggest thing that could fall and block that? What could happen? You know, you've got to think things like that. You've got to make judgments. It sounds a lot when they're saying it, but everybody will do that automatically, like that. When you first see it, you first set eyes on it, your gut instinct tells you your initial thought. You go by that. You do whether you like it or not. You have all the logic, you make logical assumptions and all the rest of it, but your sixth sense will guide you what you can and what you can't do. But anyway, aside that, the history of this thing, I don't know much about it, but apparently it's 800 BC from what I heard. You think you hear things, but it's the wind. But yeah, 800 BC, that's before the languages were. They used sign language to scrape it on the walls, apparently, down there. Anyway. So again, just looking down. From the road, by the way, I wouldn't have seen this. The road is up there, and I would have saw the Alps over there. Because I can't see the road from here. So I wouldn't be able to see this from the road. And further down just sort of leads there. So the tunnel was down below here, below all this. So, well, but certainly where the fence widens is another good indication as to where it is. You've got this widened. The fence widens here and over there as well, and then it narrows back down again. It's the same with the other side when I'm heading up in the north direction towards where I'm parked. The fence, again, it's when you get this sort of circular widened bit of the fence. I think that there is just to protect this bit. You know you're in the general area. So I don't like going down there to get a view. I've seen pictures with the light shining in, but I'm not going to have my back facing that way when I'm in there alone. I won't do it. I won't have my back facing to the unknown that I'm not comfortable with. So therefore I couldn't do that. The selfie stick might supply that actually. I'll see if we can do it with that. So I'm going to put the selfie stick down there to see if we can get the view of the light shining through the hole. So I'm going to make sure my camera's on proper, good and proper. I won't need the lights for this because it's shining up. Actually, you know what? I forgot about this. There's a light on here as well, which will shine. Oh. So I tried that, set the timer on the selfie stick as well, on the selfie view on the timer, so I had enough time to put the camera. That was a bit scary. I heard the gunshot there, but shooting is. No, that's just I heard that earlier on as well, was the cracks of the blank for probably the bird scarers or something. But anyway, the selfie stick, I'd set it for a bullet right past me. Just be too soon. Saying it's a bird scarer, like a bullet right across the top of my head or take my ear off. God, shooting it is. Nah, I couldn't do that. Well, I hope I don't. Nah, I heard the things all the time, but the gunshot pops. I'm kind of hoping they're no a bad shot and they're aiming for us. I wouldn't be laughing if it were true though. But anyway, I might went a bit over with this. When I go hill walking, I take this emergency whistle, but it's just best to go prepared. Okay, it might seem a bit over, but really, it does say it's dangerous, keep out, so that's number one thing. The selfie stick, I set it on the timer, so I got a little bit of views. I looked a bit kind of eerie when I saw the light coming in just through a small hole in the ground. That's your exit entrance. And there's no danger in going in there, have my back facing that. And on an uphill to get out as well, slippery, muddy. No, I won't do that. I'll wait till there's others before I could even consider going in any further, if I do at all. You always go by your sixth sense, that's what guides you. Now, you might think it could be wrong, it might be right, but things happen for a reason anyway, but the sixth sense, as far as I'm concerned, is what's correct. The five senses all play a part in the sixth sense as well, all means something, everything means something. There's a reason for everything. If the time's right to go further in, and so be it, it'll happen. If it's not right, it won't happen. It's supposed to be, it will. If it's not, it won't. And there's all other possibilities as well. Nothing's open and shut, black and white like that either. So, right, I think I'm going to make my way back to the car now. So the next footage you'll see is me making my way back, or when I get back. I'll think of a route, an easier route to get back, and I'm not climbing all that obstacle again. There's a couple of gates. There's that gate to climb. There's that fence, the gate and fence, and maybe something else up there. I'll see what's up there. That first gate that I saw when I was on the road might be an option to get in and out. I'll decide. So the sun's setting in the northwest over there, and when I look over to the south east, I'm sitting at the east, I get sunset colours there as well. I've done lots of things regarding bizarre light phenomena in my videos. That's just another thing that I made observation with. So I'm going to get going now. So on the way back, I come back to here again. This time I went over that stile, so I'm on this side of the fence, so I don't need to do that obstacle again. I'm just going to backtrack the way that I came here. So I'm just walking up to where I done the first obstacle climb. If I didn't know that was there before, but that's what I would do in reversal. I was coming here again, I would go this way over that and over the other one, and then that fence to get myself over there. So now I'm just heading towards the bit where I was first met with this obstacle. Now that I've walked up, this is where it started. This is where I met the first obstacle, remember? I had to get over this fence, then the electric fence, then the wall, then the barbed wire fence. Unbeknown to me, all I needed to do was go down here with this on my right hand side, and I'd have 4 stiles. The Souterrain's up there, by the way. Those up there. So I was right, I checked this one first, remember, and said no, it's not that. So it's north and south. And I said, well, try the east and west way. It wasn't that. Then I went up there, wasn't there. Looked at the videos again, pictures again. Then decided to go south, north and south again, and it turned out to be that one. So the thing as well, when you go into that tunnel, you got to watch for bats, because bats might fly out. You just never know. Now this is the way I came earlier. This leads back to the road, so I'm just simply going to go up there now. And at least now I know how to get to it. It's just down here, I stay on this side of the fence, down there to meet the first tall stile, then I go over the shorter stile, then I've got the other stile, then I've got a fence to climb. That takes me to these gates that lead up to there. Silver gates like that, the metal gates, the 3 of them in a row. Well, that's at the foot of that. If you come down there, it's at the foot of there. Basically, you saw it in the video, you know what I mean. So that leads to the road. Stay on this side, you don't need to climb it, there's a stile down there, and you're going for that. So I'm just going back the reversal as way I came. This is going to take me back to the road. So there's a site for sore eyes. There's the gate, there's the road. Mission complete, to a degree anyway. Oh yeah, mission complete, I found it. So, took a bit of mucking about, fine, but I found it. So, and the gate is shut properly latched. And that's one easy gate that one and only, in fact, that I came across. Everything else I had to climb over. And I'm just heading back to the car now, which is just along here about 5 minutes. And just a wee observation made here, another strange tree. How it gets to that and how it grows like that is certainly not how it used to be as far as I'm concerned. It's bizarre. I mean, I wouldn't be making these observations and noting that if it wasn't strange. So I've done videos on that before. I just thought I'd clock that. So I'm just on route back to the car. So that might have been the other way. So I'm just parked up there. This is the first gate that I saw. Doesn't look so easy to get to from here, but there's obviously infinite ways to get to it, but that's just showing you the way I took. So perhaps this is another way. I don't know, but let's probably still go the other way anyway. At least I know that way for now. So yeah, that's possibly another way, but it looks a bit more awkward. That would probably take off the doubling back bit. You know, that might lead you to the stiles at the bottom if you go that way. I'm not sure, I haven't really looked into that yet. Right now it doesn't really matter. I know a way to get to it now anyway. So yeah, I'm just parked there, I haven't gone back to it. This is where I was earlier when I watched the video. There is actually a quicker way. Obviously didn't realise it at the time, but you would have to go around the peripheral of this field. Along here, that's that fence that I saw in the video. You'd have to go around here. And basically down there is where the stiles are, the 3 stiles. That would eliminate the need to go all the way up to that other gate and down there and come back on yourself to there. Because what you want to do is get down there. The stiles are just over there. And then you go along a bit and up to where it is. And the road is there. So you wouldn't cut across the field, you'd avoid doing that. You would go along the edges so you're not walking over that. You just go along the edges. Right along, possibly from there, the gate maybe, along. You could cut down there if you want. I'd just go around it. And then along the edges and down to where the stiles are. So that's a shortcut. Of course, I'm just sussing the area now. I wasn't aware of that. I was still in search, but now that I know in high insight as to where it is, I could do that for future reference. So I just thought I'd clock that in as well. Even easier still, that first gate that I came to, that looked a bit iffy, is only just down there. You'd have to get through this overgrowth a wee bit, but it's only there. That's where I was, because I couldn't see behind all this overgrowth. But really, it just leads to this. It just leads here, and then that's it. You just go down the edges. You don't even need to come from there. I mean, you could, but that's another option. That would be an indicator. That first set of steps, where I could hear a beehive. I guess I can hear lots of bees anyway, so you might hear it on the camera. But anyhow, that's worth noting. So it's another thing worth clocking in. Walk along the edges and down the stills that way. So it's just a direct from the road right down to the stills, and then you know the rest from there. To the right and then to the left. Right, so I'm back. It's pretty much diagonally from where I'm at. So like I said, I showed these signs earlier, where I was earlier. That's that first fence, and then further along's the gate that I went in. Well, the Souterrain is just diagonally there. Half a mile maybe. Third of a mile perhaps. So that gives you an idea, it's just in that direction. And I showed these signs earlier. So I'm going to round off the video now. So that's quite an adventure, that. At least I succeeded, I found it. I saw it first hand as well, so that's important to see something first hand as well. So yeah, it's got a lot of precautions. It's not the easiest thing to get to. There's a few things to climb over there, but I found an easier route. So I'm learning all as I went along. I've discovered that. So there's an easier way to get to it. It's just to go along there and that first gate that I saw, and then it's just the other fence, the yellow fence with the slats on it. That was quite easy to climb over. Once you get over there, you're heading west. That's where the 3 metal gates are in a row. You just climbing over that, and up between the fields, you've got the wire fence on your left on the east side, and the stone dyke wall on the west side on your right as you're heading up. And then where the fence is wide and open to that circular bit, that's where it is. So hopefully you'll find it if you're interested. So but yeah, that's that. But yeah, like if you go into these tunnels, you don't really know what's down there. So your bat can fly out right out with you. You don't know what's down there. Right, that's it. I'm going to get back home now. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Just see what else I put on my channel. I'll get this compiled up and put online soon. I think anything else. A little bonus, the little bonus earlier as well. When you saw the River Isla, that was a wee bit added on to the video. Lovely scenery here. So, yep. So I'm hungry now. It's tea time. It's like 25 to 9. So I spent a few hours. Right, I'll catch you later. Bye for now.